everyone, this is Jarle for Possum Stamps. Thank you for joining me today. For my card today, I used the Prickly Friend stamp set. This is the first time I will be using it, so I'm very excited. I took my Bristol Smooth cardstock and I placed my images onto my MISTI, and with some VersaFine Onyx Black ink I stamped all my images I wanted to use for my card. Out of the same Bristol Smooth cardstock, I die cut 3 Polaroid frames. I'm using Salty Ocean to ink blend my backgrounds for my Polaroid pictures. So I'm taking those 3 little pieces and then ink blending them with Salty Ocean Distress Oxides. To add a little bit of interest to my backgrounds, I'm sprinkling on some clear water to the 3 little pieces. Then I'm dabbing this off with a paper towel. Now on to my coloring. For my reds, I used the red and lipstick red of the Carine brush markers, then the blender of the Zig markers. I also used my blender of the Carine markers, and then I have some greens and some grays, so I have emerald green, green, May green, green gray and light gray. But I won't be using that light gray after all. So for my coloring with zigs, I always use the same method. So I'm going in with my medium shade and blending it out with my blender. Then I'm taking my darkest marker, then blending that one out with my medium marker, then blending that one out with my lightest marker, and then for the final step I'm blending it all out with my blender brush. And I'm just doing this once because I get a really good blend from the first time. Here I'm just going over it again with my darkest marker because I didn't like my shading enough. For my reds, I'm doing kind of the same. I only have 2 markers for this one. So I'm starting with the lightest marker, blending it out with my blender brush, then going in again with my darkest shade, and then blending it all out again. For those speech balloons, I ended up just using that green-gray marker just on the edges where I wanted the shadows to be, and then I blended it all out with my blender brush. I die cut all of my images with the coordinating dies, and then it was time to assemble everything. So I took out all my little images and placed them onto my Polaroid pictures. I just adhered everything with some liquid glue. This gives me a little bit time of wiggle room. So I'm placing this one just in the middle, and then the other ones more to the right or to the left. Now to manipulate everything better, I just adhere my background with the frames just using some purple tape. I decided to use the happy birthday sentiment of the stamp set. I just stamped this with VersaFine Onyx Black ink onto my Polaroid. Then I took some patterned paper and a plain red cardstock, but I wanted to add a little bit of shading, so I took out my Fired Brick Distress Oxides ink and just went over the edges. But you ended up, you don't see it quite well on the camera. Then I glued this down onto my card base, and then for the final step I took out some foam tape to adhere all my Polaroids to my card panel. And this finishes off the card for today. I hope you like it. It's quite simple. When you like this content, please consider subscribing to this channel and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you for watching. I'll be back soon. Bye!